Camera moves to a spotlight that shines on an empty rocking chair. And I thought Randy Orton destroyed it.
I'm not even going to say anything.
I really like the cult character, the Eater of Worlds. I think they really dropped the ball with him. He'll be one of those people that will just be a big what if. I know a lot of people now are going to try to Kurt Cobain him.
Oh, it's already happening.
I know.
And it's like, oh, you remember you bastards didn't appreciate him while he was here.
Well, he didn't really do anything to be appreciated. He had that Pitch Black match, which was an abomination
for you.
Objectively.
I, for one, was a Bray Wyatt guy. He could do no wrong for me.
I thought the Fiend was stupid. You know what really where he just like failed, or where WWE failed him, is when John Cena, when he got his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar on that SummerSlam. Remember that?
Yep. Suplex City was born.
Uh-huh. The Raw after that, John Cena gets into it with Bray Wyatt. And then John Cena does to Bray Wyatt what Brock Lesnar did to John Cena. And it just completely destroyed Bray Wyatt. Completely killed him. All because Cena needed to have his little ego check. But the Eater of the Worlds, that was great. He probably should have beat The Undertaker. I think we talked about that.
Yeah. There you go. At least you stay consistent there.
But he was an innovator. His promo was, I'd say he was a black belt in terms of promo. And I liked his matches. I just didn't like his gimmicks. But it's a shame we won't get to see what kind of crazy shit he comes up with.
Well, I think, he was clearly one of the most creative minds in the business. Maybe like him and Matt Hardy, maybe probably two of the more creative minds. He made you feel, and that's what I would say is important in wrestling. Like,
true.
Maybe you hated it, maybe you loved it. Like, you hated it, I loved it, but you were talking about it afterwards. You weren't talking about, I don't know, Ricochet doing his 900 450 splash, but you're talking about what Bray Wyatt did. I mean, here we are. I couldn't tell you one thing that the Pitch Black match. What was that at Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
And then outside of the actual Royal Rumble, I couldn't tell you anything else that happened on that show. And then you go to like WrestleMania when you had the feud with The Fiend. Alexa Bliss was in it. Randy Orton was in it. They had like a, I don't know, short 7-minute match. He loses off one simplistic RKO. This is after he got literally burnt alive by Randy Orton. What I remember about that was like the crowd from this match was on their feet chanting "Holy shit!" and it had nothing to do with the wrestling match. It was when Alexa Bliss pops out of the Jack in the Box. The crowd's sitting there chanting "Holy shit!" It was probably the only time they had chanted that the whole night. This was like right after a pandemic, so the crowd's just newly back. So no one else was captivating them other than what the Fiend was doing. And then, it gets the boos and that was stupid because it just kind of abruptly ended like it did.
I don't know. I think once you're at the point where you're lighting things on fire or people, like what else are you gonna do? If lighting the Fiend on fire won't beat him, what are you gonna do?
That did beat him. Alexa Bliss had to do a seance to bring him back.
Yeah, but he came back.
I know, and he was burnt. Like Jason Voorhees.
But he still came back.
She was in a pentagram, and she had to do with the candles around her, and she had to do the thing.
And they would have had another match with Randy Orton and won.
Yeah, he should have beat Randy Orton after coming back. Like, you got burnt alive and you came back. And so, but yeah, he had like, all this creativity. And you have the WWE, they just kept finding ways to fail him. Losing to The Undertaker, losing to John Cena. These are two big matches he should have done. Probably the most egregious one was losing to Goldberg for absolutely no reason.
No reason. He lost to Goldberg as the Fiend.
Yes. And even that, the Fiend, you said the character was stupid. That SummerSlam he debuted with against Finn Balor You know, he was playing the little.
Oh, I thought it was with Seth Rollins.
No, he debuted with Finn Balor,
Okay.
and he's playing that little buddy Mister Rogers character type. And he's like, "I got a dark side, and I'm going to show you at
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
WrestleMania." And then, yeah, the presentation of the Fiend is just something like everybody that saw it was just like enamored with it. He comes out and he's got the lantern that is his old head as the lantern.
That was
The
awesome.
mouth was like pulled open to have the light in it. And yeah, the as he debuted that character, everybody was just like, "What the hell?" In a good way. Now, of course, some people didn't like it, but it was just something that just you remembered and you felt.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, the Hell in the Cell debacle,
I remember the bugs, the little projector with the bugs and the.
and then you had him debuting with the Husky Harris character and
Yeah,
the
it was in the.
Nexus.
Yeah, it was in the Nexus for a day.
Yeah, and I don't remember if that was the Nexus 2 or like the first version of the Nexus.
I
Because
believe it was like the very first version.
okay, because yeah, they had that second version. They had the Ryback, sorry, the Batista wannabe or look-alike. I don't know. He didn't want to be the Batista. He just looked just like him, Mason Ryan. But yeah, he did the Husky Harris thing, and then we move on to he gets
Oh,
the
you know what? He might have been the Punk Nexus. I seem to remember him getting whipped, and that seems like a Punk thing. Or maybe he was kicked out when Punk took over. I don't know.
yeah. I don't remember who was the. I don't know if it was the Punk or the Wade Barrett version, but yeah, he started with the Nexus, and then he moves on. He gets the repackaged deal. Now he's like the swamp Bray Wyatt. He's got the Wyatt family. I remember
Which has
when.
to be
Mhm.
one of my favorite characters ever. That's like right up there with the Undertaker for me.
I remember when they debuted, and they're coming out of the thing with the mask, Braun Strowman, and this was like when Braun Strowman was like so intimidating because he was like fat but still jacked, which I don't even know how that's possible. Like he had the big gut, but he's like,
He was a strong man.
yeah, he had the big gut, but he's like cut up, got the abs
Now
showing through the gut.
Now he's lean and it looks like he eats tuna.
Looks like he's on keto. Speaking of which, he was back at the tribute here, and he did. He had
He
hair.
was.
It was weird.
So back to SmackDown. Yeah, so they honored Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt all night. They start off with the 10 bell salute, like you said. Braun Strowman was there. Eric Rowan was there. But then they moved on to a Bray Wyatt video package. It was really nice. I mean, it's a WWE video package, so it's going to be fucking A+. There was a really nice moment where the crowd just starts singing "He Has the Whole World in His Hands," which they did that. I don't know if you saw Jericho. He was at a concert that he was doing. He started talking about Bray Wyatt, and then the crowd, they started just singing "He's got the whole world in his hands." It's just really nice moment.
No, I missed that.
And then the camera moves to a spotlight that shines on an empty rocking chair. And I thought Randy Orton destroyed it.
I'm not even gonna say anything.